Good morning, guys. All right, so here's where I'm at with this. I showed you guys yesterday in a video where I was doing some work on my 19 RGS and I installed a new Hertz DPS, but I also put in the Harley WHIM. While I had the fairing off, I might as well kill two birds with one stone. So anyway, when I hooked it up and I plugged everything in, it's all plug and play, nothing was seeing anything. So to recap the story, when I first bought this in December of 2018, this was the first generation of the RGSs that were coming out for 2019. This has the 6.2 boom system on it, the touchscreen. So it's got the nav built in and all that fun stuff. Well, the Apple CarPlay wasn't working. So you had to buy a WHIM to get it to work, but thanks to Ryan Erlacher from lawabidingbikers.com, he showed the little trick where Harley Davidson can actually click a button on their programming and say that it already had a WHIM. And then when you plug in your iPhone through the cord, Apple CarPlay would come on. So I took my bike over to Orlando Harley. I know those guys over there. Cool guys. And they went ahead and they wanted to see if that would work. And they actually did it. And all of a sudden, Apple CarPlay started working, which was great. So a year and a half later, I'm doing all my stereo equipment on the bike. And again, a tick to Carlos at MBS Audio in Rosedale, New Jersey. Man, that guy knows his stuff. When it comes to stereo equipment, testing equipment, giving you raw data on what works, what is made for Harleys, what's waterproof, what's the best sounding, what can handle the most power. The Sound Digital 800 by 4 watt amps fit perfectly inside your fairing. They're small, they're compact, and they're powerful. I think they're totally underrated as far as their power ratings go, because I'm going to tell you, my bike, and I haven't done a video on it, you're going to hear this thing 3 blocks away. So when you see guys turning up their radios and they start walking down the street and the whole 9 yards, mine does that. I don't have subs in my bags. I just have the 6x9s in the lids that Rockford made specifically for Harley Davidsons. They actually sound pretty decent. There's really nothing wrong with them. I'm throwing 200 watts RMS into these guys and through the Hertz DSP, and that just came out. And that's the only part that really hurts, because that's $600. And I don't care where you're going to find it. It's $600 all day long. I think it's a little ridiculous that it's so expensive. But if you want to get the DSP to fit in your fairing the right way, that's just the way you're going to have to go. So I already had a bigger DSP that was in my bag, and it just wasn't really, it was doing a good job. It just really wasn't, I couldn't get it in the fairing. It was just a little too big. So I had that in the passenger bag on the driver's side. And if I want to take the bag off to get this guy unhooked, is a pain in the ass. So anyway, on to the WHIM. Enough of the stereo. The WHIM was installed. It's all plug and play. It wasn't coming on. I downloaded the device manager on my laptop, connected it to the port on the bike. Still wasn't seeing it. The device manager wasn't seeing it. So I had to bring the bike yesterday back to Harley Davidson. I brought it over to my boy Shane. Good job, Orlando Harley. He got the bike hooked up, saw there was major problems. The original flash that they said that they had done telling the bike it had a WHIM somehow got deactivated. That's why this thing was not seeing it. Okay, so now they had to reflash the whole system, put it back to stock, had to turn my stereo off because the EQ levels will blow your speakers. went ahead, reflashed it again, enabling the WHIM. System retook. Now the WHIM, it sees it and it activated it. Good. Now they had to reflash it again for a third time, and that was to flatten the EQ with the Rockford flash. So now that they did the Rockford flash, the EQ was set low, flat, and now everything's back up and running. Before, I couldn't find my wireless head settings on my menu. So I'm gonna show you guys this. And we'll take a look here. And we're going here. And that right there never showed up. So now that that's all done, it's in. That's a good thing, right? Okay. Well, here's the problem. Now that they did that, my iPhone will not connect and see it Bluetooth. So we got another problem. So I'm trying to hook my iPhone back up to my head unit via Bluetooth. It's not seeing it. So I'm going to try to reset my phone and put it in. I did it twice already. It's still not working. I'm going to have to probably bring it back to Harley Davidson because obviously there's an issue here. And I don't know if it's Apple because they just came out with several updates, and I don't think these Gen 1s are made for those new updates. And if that's the case, I may have to switch to an Android and get rid of the Apple phone. So because Shane was able to hook up his iOS, his Samsung, and it actually saw it. When I'm plugging my phone in, it's just going to music. It's not seeing the Apple face or anything like that. It's not giving me the menu. It's not doing any of that. So anyway, that's the update that I got now. And stay tuned, but this is for the Gen 1s, 2019 RGS with the 6.2 GTS boom systems. The saga continues.